Oh, hello to the one person in the stream. What's up? 2 people in the stream. 6 people in the stream. 15 people in the stream. All right. I'm currently still at the Chargers facility. You guys want a tour? It's where they do the press conferences. This is where we work. It's very glamorous. Can everyone hear me? Let me know in the chat. It's 11:44 p.m. I just finished up my big board for tomorrow morning. I can't really hear myself talk with these headphones on. 54 players to target on day 3, publishing first thing in the morning. If you're not subscribed to The Athletic, click the link below because I wrote a bunch about why the Chargers drafted JT Woods, and it has everything to do with Derwin James. I don't know if should I go like this? Is this better? I don't even know. I'm exhausted. I can barely see straight. I brought a beer down to the facility, but I'm not going to drink it because I have to like an hour drive home back to my apartment, and I don't want to crash and die. Life is pretty dope. Living's pretty dope. So going to play it safe and make sure I make it home okay. Hope you guys are all right with that. Big fan of being alive. Hope you guys are too. So we're going to keep this pretty short. I got to drive home and then sleep for like 2 hours and then wake up and drive right back here to be back at 8 a.m. So let me know what you guys want. You want me to give you like quick takes on the JT Woods pick? Do you guys want to do like a little 15-minute Q&A? You let me know in the chat. I do have a Gatorade though. So we're sipping Gatorade. This is lemon lime flavored. Shout out to Danny Marcano, Brock Anderson, rest of the Chargers PR staff for keeping our fridge stocked and for getting us pizza for lunch today and dinner. Oh my God, Gatorade is so good. Okay, I'll do a quick take here. So, to me, this felt like a little bit of a luxury pick. I'm concerned about the corner depth. I'm still concerned about the corner depth. I've been concerned about the corner depth even with the J.C. Jackson signing. They're one injury away from Tavon Campbell playing significant snaps. That worries me. They had some corner options there that would have given them some more depth. They didn't go that route. They had some edge rushing options there that would have given them some more depth behind Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Chris Rumpf. They didn't go in that direction. They had some speed receiver options there. Again, that also would have probably been more of a luxury pick. But they decided to go with JT Woods. Really fantastic athlete. That's where you have to start with JT Woods. Ran a 4.36 40 at the combine, 40-inch vertical. He's over 6'2". He's got 32-inch arms. And that shows up in how he plays. He's got fantastic range. He was a high school sprinter, accomplished high school sprinter in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 110-meter hurdle. He ran track at Baylor, which is a great track program. So he has that type of athleticism and that type of range. The next thing you talk about with JT Woods is his ball production. Led the nation in interceptions last year. Obviously, he has a knack for getting his hands on the ball. He scored 2 touchdowns last year, 120-yard interception return for a touchdown. Took a fumble back, 97 yards. And the Chargers, frankly, did not force enough takeaways last year. You know, the fumble luck is what it is, and I've written at length about how the Chargers had bad fumble luck last year, but they only had 11 interceptions. I know there were some drops in there. Nas Adderley had a shot at a couple interceptions. Derwin dropped an interception. But they had 11 interceptions. Only 7 teams had fewer last year. So they need to produce more takeaways. And so they feel like in JT Woods, they get a guy who has a lot of range on the back end to play in the deep part of the field. They feel like he can cover one-on-one tight ends. They feel like he can play in the slot. He gives them some flexibility, and then he takes the ball away. And that's what you're getting in JT Woods. But I feel like this pick is geared towards unlocking Derwin James even more than they were able to last year. Now, we all know that they want Derwin James to be a queen on the chessboard. And they did that last year in terms of where they played him. He played weak side safety, he played strong side safety, he played dime, he played star, which is their slot position, money is their dime position. Then he also played this position that Staley concocted in his, crazy scientist lab called the X position, which is basically a hybrid edge rushing position. And that's, where you saw Derwin James flying in off the edge, basically playing edge rusher. He had a big hit in that Broncos game from that position. And so they were able to move him around all over the field. But they were exposed in the deep part of the field when they did that with Derwin because they just didn't have enough depth at safety, guys that were rangy enough to play in the deep part of the field. You basically have Nas back there, who's your deep field safety, and then you're sort of rolling through Alohi Gilman and Trey Marshall, and I know Mark Webb barely played, but none of those guys are particularly adept in the deep part of the field. So what you get in JT Woods is a guy who's really good at that. He's really good at tracking the ball. He has great awareness back there. He's got a good processor, and then he has the speed to play with range back there. And so when you move Derwin around the formation, you put him in the slot, you move him into the money position, which is like a safety linebacker hybrid role. You put him at that X spot as an edge rusher. You're not as exposed in the back end because now you have Nas Adderley back there along with JT Woods, two guys with range, and you feel like you can put a roof on the coverage, as Brandon Staley likes to say, and then while you're moving Derwin James around. So this feels like a way to maximize Derwin James. And if you maximize Derwin James, you maximize the Chargers defense. And that feels like the logic behind this pick. I understand it. It wouldn't have been the position I targeted because I just, again, have worries about the corner depth and I have worries about the edge rushing depth. And it felt like there were players available at that spot. I mean, we can go through what happened after 79. Cordell Flott, that felt like a little bit of a reach at corner. But, D'Angelo Malone is a guy that was available. Marcus Jones is a guy that I had on my big board, more of a slot guy, but still, if you have Marcus Jones who can play the slot, allows you to move Asante Samuel Jr. around. Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State was an edge rusher who was on the board. Keep going down the list here of guys that were taken. Zachary Carter. I guess I thought he was more of an interior lineman. Where did Dan have him? Oh, and he edge rusher out of Florida, so that seemed like a little bit of a reach based on where Dane had him ranked. Myjai Sanders, edge rusher who went. So they had some options there that they could have gone with. But getting that range at safety was really important to Brandon Staley, clearly. And then the other thing with JT Woods that I'll add here is that they feel like he can be a contributor on special teams, particularly as a gunner with his speed. So yeah, that's the logic there. And if you want to read more about the specifics of how I think it's going to unlock Derwin James, make sure you click the link in the bio. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Click the link in the description and subscribe to The Athletic if you already subscribe. Boom, access to the story. Right. So there's guys that are still on the board that you're throwing out there that could potentially be there at 123 tomorrow. I just put together my list here. Oh my God. Let me pull up my big board. Yeah. So Dominique Robinson is edge rusher. Tariq Woolen still on the board. Kobe Bryant, Joshua Williams, Damari Mathis, Zion McCollum, Amari Barno, Jalen Armour-Davis, Christopher Allen. So there's possibilities of people that are still there. But the guys I listed were actually taken after. And Danny Gray was taken. Thought the Chargers were going to be able to get him in the 4th round, but he's a 49er now. All right. I'll do like 5 minutes of questions, then I have to get out of here because I'm literally falling asleep right now. Expect the Chargers to go cornerback or edge in round 4. I think it's one of those positions. Just depends on how the board falls. If pick pans out, I know it sounds crazy, but can't Derwin run the slot corner if there's an injury? I mean, initially, like you have a lot of guys with slot flex, so they feel like JT Woods has slot flex, Mark Webb has slot flex, and Adderley has slot flex. Asante Samuel Jr. can play in the slot. So they have options there. I don't think they would. I mean, in the Cowboys game, they played Derwin in the slot because of the Chris Harris injury, but I think that's sort of a last resort thing. I think you want to be able to move Derwin around as much as possible. Why did the Chargers trade up for a tackle? Again, and this is what prompted my tweet this morning about people being demeaning and condescending. Someone tweeted at me about trading up and how I said they don't have the capital to trade up, and someone said think before you speak. They didn't have the capital. How do you trade up? Okay, if you're going to trade up, you have to give up the same amount of value in draft picks. So the only way they were going to get into the second round is if they gave up their third and fourth round picks. That was never going to happen. Or they give up a future pick, and that was never going to happen. So you have to have the requisite capital to drive up to trade up. And so it's all available. Go look at the draft value charts, and you can figure out how much you need to give to move up to a specific pick based on the value of the picks. And so you have to give something up to move up, whether that's a player or more frequently, it's draft picks. And so you have to be willing to move on from future picks or this year's picks, and those picks have to align with the value of the pick you're trading up to. And most of the time, it has to exceed that value because you're paying a premium to move up. So you better really, 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 really love a player and think he's a slam dunk pick if you're going to give up that type of capital to move up. And the Chargers just frankly did not have the capital this year after giving up their second round pick to make a ton of moves to move up. Would I have liked Nakobe Dean? Possibly. The fact that he fell as far as he did does give me some pause about what exactly is going on with that pec injury. Reports are that it's just a strain, but we'll see. I mean, but it's not a coincidence that the same teams keep getting this type of value. Like the good organizations get this type of value, and it seems like it's the same freaking teams every time. It's the Ravens, it's the Eagles. So I don't have enough information on what's going on with his shoulder, pec, whatever it is, to tell you if that was a good pick or a bad pick. What I can tell you is he was an outstanding college player, and getting that guy in the third round seems like really good value to me. This is I don't even know what this is. It's like a screwdriver that I'm just holding like it's a freaking pen. Now I have a pen. All right. Any wide receivers? So Calvin Austin is still on the board. I think he would be fascinating. And then another guy I have in there is Bo Melton out of Rutgers. But the speed options at receiver are getting pretty slim. Do I think the Chargers need more defensive tackles? Yeah, I think they need one more. And there are going to be some guys here in the fourth and fifth round that they can get after. John Ridgeway out of Arkansas. Neil Farrell, who's a giant nose tackle out of LSU. And then the one guy I think, or there's a couple guys that I think they're going to target. Otito Ogbonnia out of UCLA, Eric Johnson out of Missouri State, and then Thomas Booker out of Stanford. I think it's going to be one of those three guys. They almost got Travis Jones. If Travis Jones fell to 79, I think he ended up going 77. Where did he end up going? 76. Obviously to the Ravens because, again, the same organizations always make great picks. I think if Travis Jones was there, they would have taken him. There were a couple guys that were falling to 79. Bernhard Raimann was also falling. And I think Travis Jones and Raimann went 76, 77. Yeah. Right before the Chargers. So unfortunate. I think either one of those guys would have been a great pick. Yeah, Khalil Shakir is a guy I looked at. I don't have him on my big board. I know he ran well, but he's more of a slot guy, so I don't know if he's a real fit for the offense. But if you like him, you like him. Good for you. Yeah, I think Calvin Austin might be like the first pick tomorrow. The Chargers grab a running back. Yeah, they're gonna grab a running back. The question is how early. I'm all over Jerome Ford. I think that's my guy. But Hassan Haskins out of Michigan, really good pass protector. He's an option. Tyler Batty out of Missouri, who played with Larry Roundtree at Missouri. Dane actually compared him to Tariq Cohen, so that's an interesting fit. Abram Smith, I know Matt Money Smith loves Abram Smith. We were talking about that earlier today. Zamir White, Kyron Williams is a guy that makes a lot of sense. I mean, he caught 78 passes in college, 40, including 42 last season. So, that receiving ability is really intriguing. Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M is a guy who, Dane had a third round grade on, and then Tyler Algier at BYU is another option. I see Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson got picked to the Washington football team. I will not say their dumb nickname. Daniel Falele, he's on my big board. Sure, if he's there at 123, that seems like really good value to me. James C., I want you to know that I see your comment in the chat. I'm not going to repeat it, but that was funny. You gave me a chuckle. Congratulations. We are drinking lemon lime Gatorade tonight. I have a drive back to Venice from Costa Mesa, and I'm really tired, so I'm not having a beer. I will have it when I get home. Perion Winfrey is on my big board. But there were like some maturity issues, supposedly. So those are not the type of players the Chargers typically target, but we'll see. How many tight ends went? There were quite a few that went today. There's a little run on them. I don't see the Chargers taking a tight end. Maybe like they take a flyer. Like they have 6 picks in the 6th or 7th round, so they could really like do whatever at that point. Where am I? Oh, I showed everyone early on, but I'm literally at the Chargers facility. This is where they do the press conferences. I'll give you guys a little tour because I'm the only one here. We got the camera right here. Got this cool little paint job on the wall. Here we go. I'm at the podium. What do we think? Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. This guy is a football playing Jesse. There we go. This was Nando's seat right here. Well, Gil sits here. And then Nando used to sit like right here, but now he's gone. This is Jeff's seat. Can you see that? Jeff Miller, LA Times. And then we got Joe Reedy's seat right here, Uncle Joe. And we got our little fridge over there, stocked with Gatorade and water. Again, shout out to the Chargers PR staff for that. Yes, this is where we spend all our time during the season. They bring all the players, and Staley does his press conferences there. All right. I'll take one more question, and then I got to hit the road because it's getting late and I'm tired. Mm. You think Carter is a Charger speed option? No, not necessarily. I think I checked his measurables. He's like a 4.3 guy. I think they could use him as like a gadget type guy. They ran some of that, jet sweep stuff with Andre Roberts. Like I think they could do some of that stuff. But I don't know if he's like a deep field speed option. So it's something they have to address. No, they don't have to address it. I mean, they've got plenty of talent at pass catching. So it's definitely, it's definitely a hole in the offense, but it's not something they like absolutely have to address to compete for a Super Bowl, I don't think. Yeah. Juan Vasquez says I need a beer. Will Fuller? Maybe. Maybe they go that route after the draft. They can find somebody for cheap on a vet minimum contract, I mean, I don't think Traquan Smith has been signed. I missed that. I guess he re-signed for the Saints. Did he re-sign with the Saints? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I missed that. He re-signed with the Saints. Yeah, I missed that. My bad, guys. I'm tired. All right, I'm gonna call it there. We'll do a longer one tomorrow because the draft starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. I mean, it usually takes like 4 or 5 hours to get through it, but I'll get my writing done, and then we can do like a nice long hops with Pop. Once I get home, we'll do it like hopefully get it started by 7 or 8 Pacific time. Have a couple beers, talk this all out. We'll spend like a good hour together tomorrow. So, but just wanted to make sure I popped on here for you guys because I promised it. And I need to drive home now, back to Venice. So I love all you guys. I appreciate you coming on this. I mean, it's freaking 12:07 Pacific time. We got 130 people in here. So you guys always make me really happy when I do these streams because I realize like how much you guys care, and I appreciate everyone that reads and everyone that watches. I'm just really appreciative of all you guys. I hope you're enjoying the content. Just like click the link below if you want to read about JT Woods. Tomorrow morning I'll have my big board up. Just finished working on that. 54 names to watch for day 3, and then obviously stay plugged into my Twitter. I'll have analysis on the Athletics website. Full breakdown of the draft, everything you could possibly want. I love you all very much. We'll talk tomorrow, all right? Peace out.